Uh-oh. Rocking them deep coves.
Morning, man.
Good morning, Dan.
Woo. Thanks for breakfast, bro. That shit was
Good,
on tap. Velvet Creamery.
I know. Thanks, Mama.
Yeah, that's right, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle, for giving me permission to be here today.
Yeah, me too.
Appreciate that.
You saw when we were outside by the car. She's like, get in the car. It's cold out here.
It's cold. I'm not standing out here while you guys talk. I was like, shit.
Right. Like I told you, man, it's always easier to get in trouble with you guys than it is to get in trouble with her.
I loved when you said that because it's so true.
Yeah.
Right? We'll get over it a lot quicker than your
Hell yeah.
wife will.
I don't ever get mad at you guys. Yeah, I don't care. But my wife, dude, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble all week, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It does linger.
It's like when the Raiders lose, you're sad all week because they fucking lost and shit. And then,
Man, I'm a Cowboys fan. Tell me about that.
dude, well, your team's way better than ours. So
I don't know about that.
you're not in the dark yet.
No.
Well, we're not in the dark yet, but
Yeah.
I was talking to my son about it. You could still. I remember there was one year the Raiders were 8-8. It was when McFadden got hurt, and the Chiefs were 8-8, but they made the playoffs because they had a better division record than we had.
Right. They had the tiebreaker, yeah.
But some years like that, you get an 8-8 team that makes the fucking playoff. I think the Giants won the Super Bowl one year when they were a wild card.
Yeah. Well, the Ravens were the first ones to.
Ravens did it too.
The
yeah.
Ravens were, I think, for a long time, the Raiders were the only ones that ever did that. Got in as a wild card and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that was like one of their claim to, fame. We're the only ones that ever do it. And then the Ravens did it after that.
Ravens had a good team too, man.
That defense
Yeah.
is sick, dude. I don't care what anybody says, man. You got a sick defense. You can make things happen.
That's how Elway finally won a Super Bowl, dude, was his defense.
And a running game.
Yeah.
Terrell Davis.
Yeah, it wasn't on his arm. It was fucking.
Well, his arm was always there.
And I watched that the other day. Terrell Davis had a fucking 102-degree temperature.
Yeah.
And a killer migraine and shit, dude.
He used to get those periodically. I
Yeah,
remember hearing that.
and he still came back second half and killed it for him.
Yeah, that was a career that was cut way too short right there. That guy was fun to watch.
Well, as you can see, DG's here this week. Weller's out on some expedition. I can't give you the analytics on it because it's top secret.
Yeah, I'm gonna spill a little bit of it. I heard he was over helping the Kurds.
Yeah, that's what I heard. He's a Kurdish fighter on the weekends.
Yeah.
We'll say our what's ups. What's up to the Washington D.C. students from Galt going to D.C. this week? One of my babies is on the airplane, so I hope they get there safe and all that stuff.
Yeah, safe travels. Yeah.
What's up to Sean and Rochelle Lane? What's up to Matt and Dan? What's up to Sarah Weller? What's up to Tracy? What's up to Irma? What's up to Rick Lee? Hosted last week. Did a good job. What's up, Rick?
Nice.
Dang, I'm fucking... 209. We got 209 subscribers this week. 200 there, and that's special because we got the 20916. So, what's up to Sherry Newington, our 209th subscriber? What's up to my man Jay Cross? What's up to BB, David Larson, and our special shout out guest goes this week to the 1983 Spelling Bee champion of Farisight Elementary School, the first person, let alone first woman, to beat Zealand White in the Spelling Bee.
That's right. Yep. Zealand was like the John Jones of the spelling.
Dude, yeah, his spelling IQ was like in the 300s.
Yeah, well, okay.
She's a physical therapist and part of the crew helping Drew Brees to get his thumb back into action. Also a GOP representative for her district and Galt High School graduate from Shreveport, Louisiana. We're talking about Ruth Du Bois.
Ruth Du Bois.
What's up, Ruth?
Kindergarten classmate.
Hell yeah. All right, so I don't know. That was a Mueller usually does this.
Oh, okay.
So today we're gonna have a one topic show because there's so many topics around this one topic.
Right.
But basically, we're gonna talk about things that piss us off or things that just make you mad. Because there's two different types of pissed off. Like some stuff I can just be like, "Oh, you're an asshole, you're a dick," or whatever. But some other shit, I'm like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, and it makes you even more pissed when there's so little you can do to make it change,
And one of them that I really hate is when they try to validate it.
Yeah, why they're doing it to
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
You know, and like for me, the first one I think about is driving, man. Anytime I'm driving, I try to be a safe, defensive driver, and that comes from work. You drive a big truck and stuff, you understand you can't maneuver and get in like a car can.
Yeah, you got to leave space.
Especially with all your weight, dude. I mean, you got weight.
Yeah, and the gas that you're carrying is fucking scary.
And you have some little Prius or something pull in front of you, and
Yeah, squeeze in and then brake check you.
yeah, you've left that space there so that you can slow down and get good. But now somebody else sneaks in there.
That's what they see it as, an opening to
Yeah, it's like they think like you're a weak driver because you left that space.
Right.
So they're taking advantage of you to get up and in front of you and shit. And then I love it when it's like on the freeway and then we come to the stoplight. We're off the same exit, like off of El Grove Boulevard or something. And this person that was driving like an asshole and all this, you get up to that light, and they're one car ahead of you.
If that, yeah. Or you pull up right next to them.
Yeah. Like you were driving like an asshole. That's another thing, too. I don't like stress driving.
Man, tell me about it.
Yeah, you're saying you went to L.A., dude.
Oh, man. I don't know how people live down there. I mean, I guess you get used to anything, right?
Yeah.
You know, but we were driving down there. We took our own car, and we did an Airbnb and in the Universal Studios and this and that. But we drove around to some of the stuff to see, you know, rather than taking the tour. We took a tour, Hollywood Hills tour. But I'll be honest with you, it was it's already I've driven big rig through there, you know what I mean, for the military and stuff, going down to the border and stuff like that. So I know what to expect, but what, you know, this time you got your family with you, you know what I mean? And,
Fuck yeah.
and people are aggressive, dude. I mean, they're aggressive down there. So they almost force you to have to drive aggressively also, just to, you almost have to match what they're doing in order to not get
to keep up with the flow of traffic and stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Anticipating people diving in because they're gonna do it. You know what I mean? You go to change lanes and instead of the guy, you know, like you see a lot up here, I'll do it myself. I'll wave the guy in or whatever just to help out traffic and everything. Those people are like, oh fuck you, you ain't getting in. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck, man.
They actually just start edging their car, so we're like, you're gonna hit them.
I'm not willing to put my car at risk like that. Some people don't give a shit. They're just gonna, you know, they're just mosey over. If you hit me, you hit me. I'm not willing to do that. You know, I don't know.
I think for me, it's insurance and all the shit that happens after a wreck. I forget the movie, but the one lady, some young chick cuts her off in the shopping, the parking lot of the shopping center.
Yeah, okay.
And she's just like, fuck it. She's fed up with it. So she's got like a fucking convertible Beamer and shit, but she's like, bam!
Just rams her just to teach her.
Bam!
Oh, over and over.
Bam! And the fucking young chick's like freaking out. Oh my God, this and that. She's all, look, honey, you may be young, but I got really good insurance. Bam! Bam! I was like, fuck, I wish I had the balls if I could do that someday.
Oh, believe me, there's been times I wanted to.
Here's another one driving, man, that gets me is, so you're at a stoplight and you turn left. Okay. And you're going to go, and there's two lanes of traffic, right?
I know where you're going. Yeah.
So
two turning lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like if you're in the one single turn lane, right? But you're going to turn left onto a 2-lane road.
Yeah, you're supposed to stay in that left lane.
You should stay on the left inside lane, and that's your lane.
Yeah.
Because I've been the guy on the other side that's going to turn right and go and use that lane. But people consistently cut over 2 lanes.
Yeah. Before they ever establish themselves in the lane they're supposed to be.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. You should take that inside lane all the way, and then if you want to get right. But you don't come right off the gate and
and just start drifting out 3 lanes over. Yeah, and then they get mad at you.
Like I did something wrong. No, because I have right of way too. I'm at a stop. I'm right, turning right. I've already stopped. I can turn right.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait for your light or anything because I have right of way.
Right.
Because my lane's open.
Yeah, you're late. Yeah, exactly. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because I see it all the time right here at Twin Cities. It pisses me off, man.
Yeah,
when it's kids, I don't mind as much. Young kids and shit, because they just don't know. But
yeah, they have to learn the hard way. Unfortunately, I had a thing. We were headed to Sacramento. Once again, had a family in the car, right? And I'm not driving aggressive. We got plenty of time to get there. I leave early as hell for that reason, you know. And we're around Elk Grove. Right, right past Grant Line where it starts to
99.
Yeah, 99 going north, where it starts to open up into 3 lanes there. You know that area.
Yep.
Then Elk Grove Boulevard, just before that. I think just before that exit. Anyway, girl gets on the freeway at the Grant Line thing, comes over, and had I not seen what she was doing, I was in the center lane. Had I not seen what she was doing and was about to do, she'd have clipped me in the front end. So I firmly hit the brakes, and then, I mean, she took up the space I just let be open, and I was just like, I just shook my head, looked over at my wife, and just shook my head. This bitch slows down and flips me off.
Like you did something wrong.
I was like, I'll fucking kill you, bitch. I went from, whoa, that was close to what? You know,
yeah,
I wanted to snatch her right out her fucking window.
She turned on you.
It was like, yeah, you just fucked up, and then you're gonna flip me off.
That's what Mama says. She says that's why she don't conceal carry, because if she did, she would just fucking straight up, dude.
Dude, it's a fucking amazing.
It's real, dude. Road rage is real, man.
Well, people think they're like super safe when they're in their car, you know, like,
or they think they're better drivers than they are.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of that. But what I'm getting at is they think they can get away with shit because they're
no doubt.
They're in their little world in their car, and they think, oh, nothing, you know, fuck you. And yeah, bitch, you get snatched up real quick.
That's some of my favorite YouTube videos to watch, dude, is the road rage shit.
That's crazy.
Especially like in Russia. Because those guys don't fuck around. They'll pull over and fucking come out with like a golf club and shit and fuck your car up.
Yeah.
And
or they're hauling bricks. They'll just start throwing the bricks in the back of their...
This one pops in my head. It's like on a Japanese freeway or something.
Excuse me.
And they're doing, you know, getting on the on-ramp. And you can tell there's hella traffic.
Right.
But the dude pulls over, puts his blinkers on. He gets out of the car, and he's got like fucking driving gloves on. He's suited up. He looks like Yakuza.
Okay.
And he just stands in front of the fucking car, and he just gives a mean mug look like this.
Yeah. Like what now?
Yeah, like, what, you ain't gonna do nothing? Okay. And he just walks right back to his car, and I was like, nobody's fucking with that dude, man.
Yeah.
First of all, this is an Asian dude that's probably like 6'2", 230 or so.
Right.
That's a big ass Asian dude.
Yeah. Come on. Here's a video I saw, right? These two guys they're road raging, right? And they both decide to pull over. Fuck it, we're gonna handle this shit, right? And immediately in the video, if you know what you're looking at, both these guys train in jiu-jitsu. They're like, fucking, one double leg down, the guy sweeps him, right, flips over like that, the guy's going for a choke, he gets out of it, you know, he's fighting hands, boom, gets out of it like that, and then they both stand up with their feet, and fucking, they're like, they shake hands, like, oh, you know what you're doing, and it was over.
Yeah.
I was fucking rolling. I was like, that was some testosterone shit
right there. That's nice, dude. That's the best outcome of it.
It was hilarious, yeah.
I remember because I was working this day, man. It was a father and son. There was a dude that had road rage in Rancho Cordova, and the dude shot the father.
Whoa.
They had road rage. He got out of the car and he shot him, and his son's in the passenger seat, fucking watching his dad die. The dude shot him and fucked up traffic for like 3 hours and shit. But
yeah,
it gets that serious, man, where people are fucking like, fuck you.
Right. I try to be more passive now, man.
I am too, man. I'm fucking...
Try to be, you know.
Like you, I give myself time. This happened about a week ago too, taking Isabel to Lodi to get some nails done or something for her. And the parachuter landed on the freeway and got hit.
Yeah.
And I always try to set up a 30-minute window, so I'm going to be at least 15 to 20 minutes late. I mean, early, rather than being late.
Absolutely.
But I try to explain it to her. Sometimes she can't. Just shit happens like that. Like, I'm sure the guy did not want to land on the freeway.
Well, it was a female.
Oh, it was a female.
It was a female, and she was. You know, they always tell you not to do it. She had over 150 jumps. The only reason I know all this is might be on the way works out there, but. She had over 150 jumps under her belt. She was no rookie, and she drifted over and was going to come back to the landing thing from the freeway. I've seen multiple parachuters.
Yeah, I've seen them do it too. Yeah,
but they tell you do not go into the freeway. If anything, land farther out in the field, away from the parachute,
or across the street even.
Away from the. Well, I've seen them land in the vineyards. Yeah, when they can't make it back. But anyway, she was coming back, and they said she probably would have been okay, but that big rig going by had a big trailer. She actually, from what I was told, she glided into the side of that trailer.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
fuck.
Yeah,
the speed of her going and the trailer going. I mean, that's fucking fuck.
Yeah, that's fucking sad shit.
And it was windy too, man. It was like 30, 35 mile per hour winds that day.
That's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was in the car when she was doing. I was reading a book, but a thing came up. about what happened on Facebook on the freeway and
like
shit.
An alert, yeah.
And I was looking outside at the trees doing their thing, and I was like, "What the fuck are they doing jumping on a day like this, dude?"
Hey, I see in the military at Bragg, these guys were jumping. They call them pay hurts. I know we're getting off a little bit, but
that's cool.
The wind made it. They're called pay hurts, right? So you get hazardous duty pay if you're jump qualified, right? Paratrooper, but you have to jump. It used to be every night, at least once every 90 days. To keep that hazard pay. It was only like, back then it was only like $150 a month extra on your check or whatever. So these guys were pay hurts. They were about to fall off from being,
getting their pay.
Yeah, from being qualified or whatever, right? They're always qualified, but they don't have a jump status qualification. So I volunteered to go help out, right? And basically help out was like go, grab chutes, take them over to the riggers and stuff, let them repack them. And these guys were just jumping all day. They started jumping at first light. So it got windy towards the end of the day, and they were like, the sergeant major out there was like, "Well, I think I'm ear chucking, right? I'm just a PFC at the time," and he's like, "I think this should probably be the last jump of the day, man. These winds are getting too high." Well, the guys, they call it an entry, but you're actually leaving the plane, and as soon they're static lining, and it's Hollywood, no pack, no gear, just a helmet.
Yeah,
they call it Hollywood, and as soon as their chute opened, I mean, they'd go.
Oh fuck!
That's how much wind there was. Usually, the chute opens.
Yeah, because when it's windy down here, it's fucking really windy up there, dude.
Exactly right. So they were coming out and boom. I mean, they were going like this and then straightening back out. Well, when this guy landed, when you land, see the military ones, you don't have near the control over them. Not for these kind of combat parachutes, right? You got the Golden Knights. They got all the for their show stuff. But anyway. As soon as you get down, you're supposed to grab cord and try to collapse at your parachute, so it doesn't keep catching wind. Well, when he hit, he landed, and then his parachute caught more wind. It drug him 200 yards, bro.
Oh, and fuck.
They, Black Hawk came in and took him out to, medevac him. And the sergeant major was cleaning his helmet out, dude, and there was hair and fucking piece of scalp and shit
fuck,
like that.
It smashed up.
I was like, oh, man. He made it. He survived, put it that way, but that was not a good thing.
Fuck,
so,
dude.
Yeah, obviously that was the last round of jumps that day.
Fuck.
So
we did get a little off course there.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Well, we'll close out drivers for getting us pissed off then.
Yeah.
Go ahead, pick one. What pisses you off, man?
Let's call, you know what? And here recently, right, as we get older, we pay attention to this a little more, right? Because now, we're the ones, trying to make a path for our kids, trying to live the best way we can.
Yeah.
And every dollar counts and stuff like that, right? I don't mind paying taxes, right? Because that's how we keep our society going, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you force a tax on me, I expect that tax to be spent for what it initially came out for.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it's legal or how anybody sits by and doesn't get pissed off when they go, oh, here's a gas tax and we're going to make your roads better, right?
Yeah, roads, bridges.
I'm driving down the road like, where the fuck, dude? Where's this improvement? So, where are they at? And then they go, oh, well, we got this other project that we don't have enough funding for. Let's grab $5 billion or whatever, whatever
that's what it was.
It was it
$5 billion, dude.
Let's grab this and we'll just transfer it over here to what we want to get done. Well, who's we? And because you work for me.
Yeah, it's their own. Because to get where they're at, like Governor Newsom, to get where he's at, he has to rub elbows with so many different people, right?
Oh man.
And the way he pays them back, the lobbyists and stuff like that, is when, like you're saying, they take money from the roads and they give it to the Environmental Protection Agency.
Right. That's what they just recently pulled that for.
And that's also a political conflict because it has to do with climate change, dude. Oh, it's not about like saving the ghost shrimp in Dry Creek or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It super pisses me off. We were talking about the lottery too. It was set up when we went to school. I can remember. They had pencils for you if you didn't have a pencil when you came to school. They give you a pencil,
right? And
they were fat pencils because they would kind of shame you because you'd have to use a fat pencil when everybody else was using skinny pencils. Yeah. But now the kids got a list of shit they got to take to school, right?
Yeah.
And it includes like hand sanitizer, Kleenex, paper, markers. I don't mind the list. I really don't. But that's stuff that our kids shouldn't have to come to school with.
Right.
Especially when like I was saying, the lottery was invented to help. 10% was supposed to go to schools.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how is it that the lottery's been around now, 34, 35 years?
Since 84, late 84.
84.
It actually started in January of 85.
Yeah, so way over 30 years. And our schools have less money now than they ever have.
Yeah, they seem to be hurting more now than...
And some of these jackpots got up to like $1 billion.
Right.
That
was the payout.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the payout.
Yeah.
That's not even close to what the entire amount was.
And that's the other thing. When they're $40-50 million jackpots, state of California is still pulling in 10 or 12% of that on a tax.
Right.
And then they take this school money too.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how we get to this point where they have to steal money from the gas tax to pay for something else, dude.
Yeah, I don't like that. It irritates the hell out of me.
And here's something else that's dirty as fuck that pisses me off is when they do have bills like the Prop 6 last year or a couple years ago. They word it so you have to vote yes for a no vote.
I know, and they do that shit on purpose.
It's fucking dirty as fucking hell, man. Because I don't know if you got your registration on your new vehicle yet.
On the Traverse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. And I look at these other states where it's $40 for 2 years, no matter what you drive.
Yeah, it could be an RV.
Yeah, no matter. It could be a brand new 2019 quad cab 4-wheel drive Chevy. You know? And here, I had a kid come into the store the other day, and I go, "Hey, man, if you don't mind, because I want one of those. I would love to have one, right? But it ain't in my budget,
right?"
So I asked him. I said, what do you have you paid your registration for that yet? And he goes, "Oh," I mean, that was his first reaction, like, "Oh, I did, man." I go, "You mind if I ask you how much?" He goes, "It was $850."
Yeah, bro.
For 1 year.
Yeah,
1 year.
That's another $80 payment. $80 payment you're not thinking about because it's $80 a month.
Right. I just could not believe it's. California, the government's gotten way too big here and way too invasive.
It is political. I mean, it's totally political. Like they say, elections have consequences. Did you happen to go down to Venice when you were in LA?
No, we didn't go down that far.
Okay, so we went 2 years ago, and at that time there was, I want to say, maybe 300-400 homeless people out there on the beaches.
Oh, it was in Hollywood too. It was all over in Hollywood.
And what I just seen on a program last week, I think it might have been even 60 Minutes, but they showed it, and there's like 1,200 to 1,500 homeless living on the beaches in Venice now.
Damn.
They're just tented up, tent city out there.
I follow this Instagram, right? It's Corruptifornia.
Oh yeah, I like it when you send those.
Yeah. I actually like some of the stuff. The stuff they make you aware of. Put it that way, right? And they pulled up. It was somewhere in down south, and it was like in a beachfront. And these guys had these old beat up RVs. I've been seeing a lot of it around here lately too. Yeah. RVs just parked somewhere for months, and it's like and they were just doing a quick reporting. Hey, how you doing? We're just kind of seeing what's going on here. Whatever. He goes, oh, it's cheaper for me to just park my vehicle here. I get water down the street from a garden hose. I fill up my jugs. I just take whole baths. Blah blah. I live here. I don't got to pay rent. Nothing like that. I park here. They tell me, hey, you need to move. So I move 1 block that way. And then when they tell me to move again, I go 1 block this way. And I'm like, wow, okay.
I've seen some of that action in San Francisco. The piers and the wharfs, they used to have these old fucking decrepit houseboats and shit that aren't even fucking saltwater worthy.
Yeah, right. They ain't going nowhere.
But they had them out there, just stocked up there, because it's fucking way cheaper to live on the houseboat and pay the slip fee than it is to fucking live in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But that pisses me off too. Homeless, man. Homeless pisses me off.
Yeah, and elaborate on that.
So there's so many different laws that are being broken that they can be picked up for, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Littering is one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
If I ever get I'm not a litterer, but if I ever get a fucking littering ticket, dude, That's gonna be my first thing. Is I'm like, really, you're gonna hit me for this, but
Right.
you're not gonna hit those fucking 100 people living on Highway 99 that are littering in Lodi.
Yeah. All the stuff's just falling down the side of the.
Yeah, the one guy's got a whole fucking bicycle shop over there underneath the overpass. He's got like 50 bicycles.
Yep.
You're a homeless dude. How did you come up on 50 bicycles?
Exactly right. Let's run some serial numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's one they can get him on is littering, right? The other one is public intoxication or drug use.
Drug use. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was down there right by, it's on Lockford Street, right by the Science Building, kind of by the tattoo shop in Joe Hassan's.
Yeah, Sacramento Street, and it's Sacramento Street running north and south.
Yep, that's where I was at, Joe Hassan's, because I was getting some shirts and shit. And
I think that's Elm or something. I don't remember.
Right by the Science Building, there's like a parking structure, and there's a fucking dude fucking sitting
Slamming
there.
right there?
Slamming right there, dude. And I'm like, fucking, and my girls, you know, they're 16, 14 years old. They're like, Dad, what's he doing? I'm like, he's doing drugs.
Yeah, right there in the open.
He's not diabetic.
No, exactly.
He's not diabetic. He's fucking shooting up right there.
Yeah.
There's another one right there. Fucking public drug use like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can get busted. I don't think you can get busted for smoking a joint now, but you used to be able. I mean, people are hella fearful of it.
Oh, right.
Like even my dad and some of the older guys, when we had a party here a couple months ago, my son just sat down, crushed up a bunch of weed and started rolling up.
Start twisting one out.
And they're all sweating, and I'm like, Dad, it's legal.
Yeah.
It's like drinking a beer now. He can do it. That's there's no problem.
Right.
He just got to outgrow that. But okay, another one, fucking urinating. Right, I know a guy for a fact. One of our buddies pissed by the high school. So now he's got a sexual predator record because he was.
I've heard of those nightmare stories like that, dude. Yeah.
Because he was pissing after a football game and shit.
Right.
500 feet of a school building.
Schoolyard
Yeah. So now he's got to register as a sexual offender, dude, for doing that shit.
That is ridiculous. There has to be. Who was that judge? You know what I mean?
Who's a fucking cop, man?
I know, but a judge had to have.
Oh, yeah.
You know, come on.
Well, look where we live, bro.
Megan's list. You know, to come up as a sexual predator because he took a leak behind a tree.
Wherever he moves to.
Go out to football practice and soccer practice, and you'll see that every day.
Yeah. Or that's another one, shitting, right? Because they're shitting all over the place now, too, man.
It's disgusting, yeah.
Right? I mean, they really are.
In Hollywood, I seen it. You know, down there. I mean, it's like, are you fucking kidding, dude?
So there's a bunch of laws that they're breaking. Besides trespassing, there's another one, right?
Yeah.
Another one, because when we were at the Venice a couple years ago, the homeless people had put locks on the public use restrooms.
On the porta potties?
All the big, enclosure ones, like with the.
Oh, they had like buildings.
Like like
restroom buildings. Okay.
Yeah, and those kind of restrooms there, they have showers and they have, for the beach and that.
Yeah, you can wash the salt water off.
Yeah, so they got all that stuff, but the homeless people had been putting locks on them.
Oh, wow.
And so if you wanted to use the bathroom, they were charging $5 to use the bathroom.
The homeless people were doing that.
Yeah, so we went to a juice place, and I asked the guy at the juice place, I'm like, what the fuck's up with these locks on the bathroom? And he's like, dude, the cops have come down here and cut all the locks off, and 10 minutes later, they got a new lock up on there, and they've been running this game for a while.
Wow.
And they sweat them sometimes, but all it does is fucking make it good for like 10, 15 minutes, and it's back to the way it was.
Yeah, I would have a brutal answer to fix that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and all these snowflakes would flip out if I was the one implementing it. You know what I mean? Because I truly believe 90% of those homeless people have mental problems, man.
I agree.
That led to drug addiction or whatever else they're dealing with.
Or I think the drug addiction leads to mental problems too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a big circle, right?
They're hand in hand, yeah.
But they're homeless because of, something right upstairs.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, man.
Yeah.
But just let them go lawless and freestyle whatever way they want to do it, ain't the way to handle it. No. Implement law. Implement the law. You get them arrested, whatever, they go to jail. Then they can get checked out in jail. Oh, is he fucking crazy? Yeah, he's fucking crazy. Okay, well, we need to take him somewhere else.
Right.
Maybe he doesn't have to be incarcerated. Maybe he needs some other type of help.
Right.
Or that's another thing. They go to jail, they're going to get cleaned up. Because you're going to be in jail for the first 2-3 days. You're going to be detox. You're going to be detoxing. Yeah,
you're going to detox.
So, I mean, I think we just need to reestablish law. Once the law Because there's a reason we have laws, man. It's what makes our society what it is.
Well, that's what makes these people want to go, well, shit, I can go down here and do this because they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything about it. There's no repercussions for me, shitting in front of this lady's business.
Well, and there's also the government enables them,
That's basically what I was saying right now, yeah.
Yeah, they enable them. They give them needles. They have a needle exchange program.
Isn't that, and they thought that was going to be, that'll help stop spread disease and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, but they're throwing the needles on the ground.
Well, that's why Newsom and Trump don't get along on shit too. Is Trump called that out about the needles and the fucking shit and the piss running straight directly into the sewer water, and that water running straight into the ocean. Mm-hmm. So who's really polluting the ocean here?
Right. These people don't like it when the other side of the coin is thrown in their face.
No, they can dish it out, but they can't take it.
Right, exactly.
They can't take that, man. Yeah. That's part of it. If you can take it and you can throw it out, I like that. Look how long Trump's been taking it, man. This fucking guy takes it since day one.
Hey, look, I support a lot of the stuff the guy's doing.
Yeah.
Not everything. There's no president I ever supported every single thing he did.
No.
But I can tell you this: it's been a long time since we had a president that actually implemented, or at least worked his ass off to implement exactly what he ran his campaign for.
Exactly, man. He's keeping his promise because he's not a politician. See, politicians
he's not a career politician.
They don't keep their promises because they got to be able to flip flop.
Well, they gotta scratch these people's backs that donated so much money to them and stuff.
And here's the other thing on it. Like Weller always comes at me with the healthcare deal, right?
Okay.
Trump did all he could on that. It was fucking McCain that fucking shot it down. They needed one vote to pass that to get rid of the healthcare.
Right.
It was his own party, his own person on his team that fucking said no.
Right. Well, you know what's funny? My Theo Noel, who just texted me, that's funny you brought that up. He just texted me right now, but he's worked at the airport where we were talking about the paratrooper.
Yeah.
He's worked there since I can remember. You know what I mean? Well over 30 years.
Yeah.
And he has to, I think his boss supplements him money-wise, but he has to get his own health care. So when Obamacare came out, he thought, oh man, this is right on. Finally I got an affordable thing to do. He was like 6 months later, he was like, that's rip off. He goes, I can't believe that.
Fuck yeah.
He goes, I can't even afford that. And that's supposed to be more affordable for people like me that have to purchase their own health care?
No, and that's the media lie that they tell people.
Yeah, he quickly saw that it wasn't.
Yeah. And for people that had healthcare like myself, it fucked up our programs.
Yeah, you lost the doctor. Remember, they always ran on, you're not going to lose your doctors.
Yep.
You're not going to get
keep your
rejected.
plan.
You can keep your plan. None of that happened.
No.
None of it happened.
They talk about Trump being a liar. Well, the biggest thing Obama did was Obama healthcare. And what did he do? He lied about it all the way.
Yeah, okay.
And that bullshit, pass it. We'll read it later. Just go ahead and pass it.
It seemed like they just wanted that, hey, look what we did real quick, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, I could see the writing on the wall, like, hey, this is a big thing, and it ain't going to come out the way you're thinking it's going to come out.
The best thing we could do for everyone in healthcare is just open it up statewide. Like a lot of hospitals only deal in California, right? They don't cross into Nevada or they don't cross into Washington.
Yeah, you're talking about plans. Yeah, it depends on where you live type thing, yeah.
But if you break, like Raymer, I was talking to Mr. Raymer about it. They had a kid get hurt in Washington, D.C. a couple of years ago, and the Kaiser Permanente they have over there, it's like in a strip mall.
Okay.
It's like an urgent care here.
Okay.
But that's how big Kaiser is over there, is it's just little strip mall shit. It's not big hospitals and shit like it is in California.
I see what you're saying.
So they do have coverage out of state and stuff, but what I'm saying is, let's say I needed an operation here in California, knee surgery, right? It cost me $100,000.
Okay.
But I could go to Texas and get the same surgery for $40,000. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it.
They need to open up where people can bid across straight lines for coverage. And because like I tell Will this all the time, my car insurance carrier I have is out of Massachusetts.
Right.
But they cover me here in California, and it's way fucking cheaper than anything I can get around here, dude.
Really? Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, so I forgot we were pissed off on that. What was that?
We started off with taxes being diverted.
Oh yeah, fucking that's another thing that pisses me off, dude. So if I made $100,000, right?
Yeah.
and I spent $100,000.
Oh, okay. I think I know where you're headed.
I should be able to write off $8,000 for California state tax.
Yes, you're talking about
The sales tax.
sales tax. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, right, that's $8,000 I spent. If I spent every bit of that $100,000 in California,
Yeah.
I paid 8% for everything I bought.
Right.
So I should be able to write that off. That shouldn't be fucking made income.
Well, here's the weird thing to me, right? Is and someone broke it down the other day. I wish I had exactly how they broke. It was on Corruptifornia, and it was like, okay, you got taxed when you earned this money. Okay, you get taxed when you spend the money, and then you get taxed on even more depending on what you end up buying, like gas, this, and that, and then some of it goes into your retirement, and then when you start pulling that out, it gets taxed again.
Yeah. No shit, man.
It's like, okay, you know, where does it stop?
It's a fucking game, man. And that, you know, the people that are in charge don't care much. My wife was going over what California legislatures make, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's $107,000 plus per diem. So their salary is $107,000.
Yeah, then they get travel expenses, rental cars.
Yep, they call it per diem, and per diem in California is $107. So we started checking other states. Idaho, they make like $18,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
They get
per diem's
$30
like
$30 per diem,
and that's just meals.
Yeah,
that's not a hotel.
So the car allowance in California is $900 a month. That's their car allowance.
All right.
You can buy whatever the fuck kind of car you want for $900 a month, dude.
Yeah. It's what is the loan rate's like $20 for every $1,000 you borrow. Like say you're going to go buy a new car.
Yeah.
Think about a $900 payment. How many thousand? You know,
fuck, dude.
How valuable of a car that would be.
And then they have secretaries, they have crews, they have all these members underneath them, each legislator that are paid for by the state of California.
Government's too big. That's what I was saying earlier. It's gotten way too big.
I can understand having a secretary, but if you want a secretary, that should come out of your salary, or you should be paying for it yourself.
Especially on the per diem side of it, if they're traveling with you or something like that.
Well, I seen the one guy Newsom just added to his crew. He got a salary of $400,000.
What?
Yeah, one of his bros from up in El Dorado Hills, where he's living up there. He's on his new committee and crew, and they posted it. Sacramento Bee yearly salary $400,000. I was like, the fuck, man? How come I don't know people like this?
Man, you know what? This isn't going to post till tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll put it out there anyway. There's Newsom recalls going around everywhere, right? Where you can go sign it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for people, right?
Yeah.
Dang it. I can't get out there to do that. I haven't met one person. Not one. Now, granted, I live in Northern California, right up here. But I haven't met one person that thinks our state is headed in the proper direction or has been for the last decade. So I would have no problem with them recalling Newsom. I would love to see it happen.
They did Gray Davis, remember?
Yeah, that's a long time ago. Yeah. So, but there is one at the Sacramento Auto Show today. They're going to be set up out there for registered voters to actually sign the petition for recall.
There's one online too.
They're all over.
Yeah,
they had Arcadia today. They're all over.
And there was one in Turlock last weekend.
Yep.
So it's happening.
Well, it's gotten from what I've been seeing, it's picked up more speed than even the people that started it anticipated. To me, there's some voter fraud going on.
Absolutely, man.
It's ridiculous. There's no way people that run this state the way it's been ran are going to keep those same type of people in office. I don't fathom how that could ever be.
You know, you want to go buy beer, you need ID.
Yeah.
You want to go buy cigarettes, you need ID. Right. A lottery ticket, you need ID.
You want to buy ammo, you got to have a background check now.
Yeah. You go pick up your prescription. They want to see ID.
I couldn't buy shotgun shells at Walmart because my license has a P.O. box on it and not a physical address, dude.
Oh, my God.
And dude. I have retired military ID, and I have a hazmat certification on my license, which requires a TSA background check. A thorough background check because you're hauling hazardous materials. And I can't buy a fucking shotgun shell, dude.
Yeah, but you can vote without any ID.
Yeah. You just DMV will register you just for going and getting a license.
See, that's the big swindle we have here.
Hey, if for all you people out there, if you're sick of this, get active. You know,
do something, man.
Yeah, you know, voting is the bare minimum, but voice your opinion. You know,
if you can get one more person to go vote, if everybody could get one more person to go vote, dude, we could change it. We really could.
Because if you see the percentage of people that
vote?
actually go vote as to what is the estimation of how many people are here, it's not good at all. It's not good.
No, man. I mean, I have Farmer on here. And we're talking about City of Galt. City of Galt's roughly 30,000 people, right?
Yeah.
Well, when I looked at the election results, you're talking some of these candidates had 3,100 votes, 3,500 votes, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. I see.
So you're talking basically like 1 in 10 goes out and votes.
Actually votes for whoever. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's local issues. That's stuff that affects this city, man.
Didn't he try to bust you out on Facebook that the numbers were skewed or something?
Yeah, I gave my 6% guarantee, but there was Russian meddling in it. That's what happened, dude.
So. Well, let's take on. We're still on things that Russia meddling.
Yeah, dude. Because I'll tell you what, man. Fucking government is one of the biggest things that pisses me off, man. Because they aren't there to help us; they're there to help themselves, man.
Yeah.
Look at Pelosi, right?
They're self-serving. Yeah, them and their cronies.
Here's one that's going to be interesting. Well, if she stays in office, because I think AOC, right? She's a bartender, and now she's Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
She's a bartender. She had no money. So let's see how much money she has when she leaves office.
Yeah, and I don't see her being there long.
I don't either. I think the whole squad's going to get fucked, dude.
Yeah. Because, I mean, look at the districts that they got. Did you see the background on how Ocasio actually won that?
Yeah, dude, because it was like they had a 4%.
Default. Well, it was by default. The other guy dropped out. He was leading and dropped out.
It was
because
like
he got a different position.
They had 4% of the vote, though, for that district.
Exactly, dude.
4% of the people voted, dude. I mean.
Yeah, that is sad.
4%, dude. I mean.
Well, maybe this is what it takes for people to get out there and be active with it, you know?
I hope so, man, because, I mean, there is a way to make America equal for everyone, dude. And one of the big ways is taxing, right?
What's the word? Democracy?
Democracy, yeah. Well, we have a republic that we vote democratically in, but,
right.
You know, I think government pisses me off, but that's probably like only like maybe 6% of my life.
Okay,
government.
You're right.
I run into people like government's like 80% of their life, dude.
That politics is the first thing that comes out of their mouth. Yeah,
and it's getting harder and harder to find the truth, man. I try to educate my kids or show my kids because I want to do them justice. I want to show them the Fox side and the CNN side, right?
Yeah,
and then I want to throw in some BBC or something off, even PBS or something like that, right?
Right.
I want to give them.
Well, the biggest thing was to educate them that these are politically biased news agencies.
Well,
I know so many people that don't even realize that.
They don't, man, especially the older crew.
Yeah.
The older crew, people that are older than us,
yeah,
they're used to watching the TV and thinking that this is the truth.
Well, because journalism used to be the truth. It used to be. Yeah. You know, it was like legit.
Well, it used to be too. Like you couldn't tell if Ted Koppel was a Democrat or a Republican.
Right. They didn't lean in their.
They didn't show that. Yeah, right. Same thing with Johnny Carson.
They were fact based more than anything. Yeah.
Johnny Carson had Republicans and Democrats on the show. You couldn't tell which way he went. Right.
Right.
But now people put their flag and they stake it on it. Like you watch Jimmy Kimmel, you're getting a left point of view.
Yeah.
Right. You watch Conan O'Brien, you're getting a left point of view.
That's what's great about this forum right here.
Yeah.
Right. Is the podcast forum, and that's opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. Long-term conversation. Because you get these 5-minute clips, right? Even in the debates, you get these 5-minute clips, and these people are just going to throw fluff at you. They're not going to have to answer how that's going to happen. What is their actual plan to do? They can't do that in 5 minutes, right?
So they keep getting on. Yeah, they keep getting Warren on. Well, you're talking about raising taxes? Or are you going to raise taxes on the middle class?
She won't answer it. Yeah,
and she won't answer it.
She won't answer it because she knows people will be like, nope.
Yeah, it's going to kill it, man. I mean,
but people are not that dumb. They know already.
There's another game that goes on with taxing, man, that happens in Wall Street, and it's like deferred taxes or deferred on the money you make, right?
Right.
And some of it goes out as far as 2 years. So you can fucking fluff the numbers or do this. I made this. I didn't. Oh, I had to pay for that. I couldn't do this and that. I mean, there's so much of a game in there, man. Where a lot of them don't end up paying shit, man.
Right, and that's where they get. There's a lot of workarounds, and the wealthier people are the ones that benefit from that.
And what happens is, let's say they owed $80,000 on a tax bill, right? They'll pay a fucking lawyer 45 or 50 grand to fucking knock that 80 grand down. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're still saving money.
Yeah, because they saved themselves 25, 30 grand by buying a lawyer to do the dirty work for them.
Right, to do that stuff, yeah.
That's why I think sales tax has it, man. If there was federal sales tax, it would make everyone equal.
So no more state sales tax, and you just
no, you can still have
flat federal.
No, you can still have California state sales tax,
and then add federal tax on top.
Yeah, but I'm talking there would be no more income tax at all. Like you make.
That is the okay.
Yeah, you make.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you make as much money as you want.
You know, in Europe, they've been doing that for a long time with their gas, right? Back when I was over in Europe in 2000. Was the first time I really seen it up front, and I was like, "Holy!" Their gas prices, right? They put everything into their gas taxes, right? And that's what forced the prevalency of public transit over there, right? So they go by liters over there.
Yeah,
right?
liters. Yeah,
and as we know, a 2 liter is a lot less than a gallon.
Fuck yeah!
But a liter of gas over there, and this was back in 2000, was almost $5.
Yeah,
a liter, but all their taxes are within that gas. You know what I mean? There's no other. Oh, let's tax your water. Let's tax your sewer. Let's tax all that. It was all in their gas.
When it adds up, like I just put my tax bill, property tax bill on Facebook so everybody could see what went down. But you got so many different levels of taxing on there, man.
It's insane, man.
And they just keep adding and adding, and that's why people are leaving, man.
Yeah,
that's why they are leaving. And
if my kids weren't as young as they are, if they were not in high school anymore, they were ready to go off to college and stuff like that, me and the wife we would be gone.
And we're getting close to that, man. Now, and
I mean, I want to keep my house here, so if I ever do want to come back or whatever, so I'll rent it out, Airbnb it, or whatever I can do. Later, I do want to have something here.
Yeah.
Right, some kind of asset here, because I've heard once you leave California and you liquidate your assets here, it's 10 times harder to ever come back.
But I've also heard it the way that you don't want to come back.
Right. I can believe that. I can believe that, man.
One of my cousins is getting ready to move to Texas, and her biggest issue is friends and family, right?
Exactly, the locality of seeing people.
I live 5 minutes away from my mom and dad, but I see them maybe once or twice a month. And then on the holidays, I mean, it wouldn't be too big of a difference for me. But for my wife, she sees her parents probably 2-3 times a week.
Right.
It's a little different issue. But
plus, say you only see them, like you said, once every couple months.
Yeah.
Mentally, though, with that, when that option is taken away, even if it's only that many times or whatever, mentally, when you move and you go, shit. I can't just go, hey, I'm going to drive over there real quick.
Yeah,
it's got to mess with you.
What got me, though, is like, me and you went up to Flory's house, right?
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool drive. It wasn't
2.5 hours, but it went like that.
Wasn't that far either, man. I mean, and that's what's got me thinking, you just live like where he's at.
That's what I'm saying. I've been looking in Fernley and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know where that's at. But
no, I don't know where.
It's, where 50 and 80 come together?
Yeah.
It's where it meets up. 80 meets up with 50. And Fernley and what's the other one out there? But I've been looking out there, Dayton, out in that area.
See, because you get in Nevada, you got no sales tax.
Right. Yeah. I know the taxes are way different. Yeah.
I don't believe there's an income tax
either.
either.
Property tax is half of ours too.
See, and then there's the same thing with registration and stuff.
Yeah. That's the big one. Yeah.
But I think casinos pick up a lot of their shit right there.
Maybe.
I think that's how it happens, because there's only a couple of really big population centers in Nevada.
Right. It's pretty desolate. And, at my age, that's what I'm looking for.
Well, that's what I told Mama. I
don't like people, dude.
You remember the movie Polar? The guy's
I do remember that.
He's a hitman.
He's an old hitman, yeah.
Yeah, he's retiring.
Mm-hmm.
Like his cabin, his setup on the lake, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, to live someplace like that, you're going to have to drive like 30 minutes in the mountains or someplace to get there. But that's where I want to fucking be, dude.
It cracks me up because people think like going to my house is like that right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it's 25 minutes straight down Liberty Road.
Yeah. It's not that far.
Oh, man. It's like, okay, man.
I dig it. I don't mind that drive at all, man. Except if I had a couple beers on the way home.
Oh, no, you won't do that. Yeah, you won't.
Fuck, no.
No.
I've seen too many people fucking off on the side of the fucking
People we
S-turn.
know. Yeah. People we know. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. All right, let's clear that one. Let's do another. Who do we got? How about neighbors?
Let's do neighbors, bro. Let's do neighbors.
Get on it, man.
Okay, so my biggest thing, and maybe this is just upbringing, right?
Yeah.
Don't be a burden to other people. Okay? Don't be a burden.
That's a family thing here. Either you're a burden or you're an asset. That's
Boom.
right.
See, okay, so we're on the same wavelength with that. And one of those things can be a burden to other people's property values.
Fuck yeah.
Right? Okay, out where I live, I moved out where I live, one, because I didn't like how congested it was getting around here.
Yeah.
I used to live right over here off Twin Cities, McKinney.
Yeah.
And that was my first house I bought. And people from Sacramento and Stockton started moving in. They were doing all this construction over here, you know, Walmart, all that stuff was coming in. I didn't want that. I wanted something a little more desolate, like Galt used to be.
Yeah.
So we were like, shit, we're always at the lake anyway. You know, when me and the wife met, we were always out at the lake. We'd go after work and just go out there and spend a few hours at the lake. So I was like, let's start looking for properties out here. So we did. And it's an older area. You know, there's not like, I live on the outskirts of that small neighborhood.
Yeah.
And my house is the newest one out there, right? It was built in 2004. But some of the houses are nice. Some people you can see they actually take care.
They have pride in ownership.
Yes,
man.
and I can see, you know, some of the people are renters. Okay, and that's always going to happen in an older neighborhood. Some of the people are renters, but there's a homeowners association out there, and they take your money, but they don't enforce it. And this is the Comanche
Village
Homeowners Association. And they are probably, well, see, I don't have a lot of experience with homeowner associations in other areas or whatever, but they're pretty derelict in my opinion. But what I'm getting at is neighbors, right? Okay. I keep my yard not immaculate, but I keep my grass cut edged. I like it to be green.
Yeah.
You know, I try to do a little improvement of landscaping every year, you know. Like when I'm going to have you guys over, like we'll have a little party, you know, once a year. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do this project and get it done before everybody comes out. You know, something each year. Try to, you know, 'cause I don't have the money to do it all at once. But other people do. I mean, there's, and they're affecting your property value. Okay. There's a fence between me and my neighbor, and it's dilapidated, right? Now, can I afford to do all that shit myself? Absolutely. But a big part of the dilapidation has been because of them putting shit on it. You know, leaning their junk. I mean, and this is junk, dude. I'm talking.
I've seen it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been
car
over there.
parts, shit like that.
Car parts leaned up on it. Old rusty rods for what the heck they're using. I don't know what, but it just, they got a swimming pool, a $30,000 swimming pool. My old neighbors, who were great neighbors, put the pool in, and it's a $30,000 swimming pool, beautiful swimming pool, and they let it get so acidic and green that it cracked and flooded the other neighbor. Luckily, I'm uphill from them.
Oh fuck!
Flooded the other neighbor out, and they were just like, "Oh well, you know, they were talking about me. Well, his water runs into our yard too. Well, it's my sprinkler water, right?
Yeah.
And I've diverted a lot of it, or it really get them out there. You have to water the ground's doesn't have a whole lot of nutrients in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, his water comes. I said, hey, that's a sprinkler water, not your muddy ass mosquito water, you know. And so they let that go. Well, that affects my property value. When
it does.
Not let alone the guy's a sex offender. These people are from Harold. Yeah. You know, they moved from Harold out there, and you know, because the other people I used to live next to retired and moved to Florida.
They got it right, dude.
Yeah. Well, until the hurricanes come, but they were great neighbors, and so I said, hey, I hit them up the other day. Hey, how about you guys just pay for half the materials, because the fence keeps falling down. The post, you can't do wood posts out there, and my old neighbor put it in while I was in Iraq, and I paid for all the materials. I said, if he's doing all the work, I'm going to pay for all the materials. And so I told the wife, I said, whatever the materials cost, give him that. And then if he does the labor, I'm good with that. I appreciate it, right? You know, because there wasn't a fence there to begin with.
Because it's called termed a good neighbor fence.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So anyway, I said, hey, you guys just pay for half of the materials. And I'm not going to do redwood or, you know, like that. We'll probably do cedar, and I'll just seal it and then put metal posts in like should have been in to begin with. And oh no, we don't have the money for that. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, you want to just keep band-aiding it then, or what? And they're, yeah. So they put some makeshift bullshit up or whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, man. But then I see them smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. They're over at the store and they're buying fucking beer and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just bullshit. They a trampoline in their backyard. Weeds are fucking this tall. Their front yard, they don't have grass. They park on their fucking front yard.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm screwed. You know,
they do it around here too. Like this side of the Carillion, it's a little better upkeep.
I noticed
the
that.
Neighborhood.
I noticed that.
But you go through that side, the other side of Carillion, and you can see, man, just dirt yards.
Right.
Like people just have straight dirt. Like
yeah,
they're not trying to save the planet or save water or anything. They're just fucking lazy and dirty, and that's what I mean. It does. It starts to ruin the neighborhood, let alone the house values.
Yeah, you're affecting what you do. Affects other people's, property values.
I do that all the time when I drive around South Sac, and I just think, like, if all these yards were green, if everyone had green yards and shit, right?
Yeah.
People would want to live there.
That's the bare minimum of it, right?
Yeah.
Keep shit clean. Put your garbage cans away.
And that gets me, too. Another thing pissing me off, man. You go into any gated community, they water every fucking day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was going to get on that when you were talking about the yards here in Galt.
Yeah, everything in there is top notch. You don't have one neighbor like that in a gated community.
Right.
That's what I was going to tell you about. We had a homeowners association when we lived in Camden Lakes, the Camden Park Community Association, and they give you fucking tickets and shit for parking your car wrong or on the leaving it too far along on the other side of the street.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or if you had overgrowth or shit that was on the sidewalk, they would give you a ticket for that.
You trim it.
You have to have it trimmed so it's not on the sidewalk, you know?
Yeah.
And they enforced it. There we go back to enforcing the laws, man.
That's what you're paying those people. That's why there's an association, right?
Yeah, they have a committee, they have a president, they have officers, all that kind of shit.
All that stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at is like, okay, I got a lot of relatives that still live here in Galt, right?
Yeah.
And the whole slogan for Galt during the drought was, green to gold, right? Let your yard go California gold.
Yeah.
Which meant let it dry the fuck up and go to shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was their slogan for it. So a lot of people let that happen to their yards. Now, it doesn't mean you got to let it look like shit. It can be dead, but still look clean.
Yeah.
Right? Well, now Galt is turning around to these same people and telling them, hey, you need to get your yard back to good, the way it is. That's not cheap.
No.
You pretty much, you might as well resod the whole thing.
So I learned one of the neighbors got a grant from California, $2,000, right around the corner over here.
Really?
$2,000 to take out his grass and put in drought plants and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's got a pretty nice yard.
Yeah, drought tolerant like foliage. And stuff,
yeah.
right?
So I said, okay, well, I'm going to check this out because I had this spot over here by the mailboxes.
By the fence line.
Yeah, it just went bad, and I was going to do that, just do drought tolerant shit, but I applied in February.
Okay.
And the fiscal year for their money started in January. So when I applied in February, it was already gone.
Wow.
It's already out. Yeah, so you have to be in the know how to get that kind of shit.
You got to know what's coming, huh?
Yeah, get that kind of shit. But just to resod that little area right there was like $400, dude.
Right. Yep.
And now I got to water it all the time. And I know I got one neighbor that's pissed off at me for watering all the time, but I got a water bill.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what? I pay my fucking water bill. And it's higher than other people's, but fuck it, I'm paying for it.
Hey, our water rates out in Comanche Village would blow your mind, dude. It's ridiculous because our water and sewer is all in one.
That's
right?
us too, yeah.
But Galt is like every other month, right?
Yeah.
Okay, mine's every month, and in the dead of summer, to keep my yard green, my highest bill this year was $248.
Oh fuck!
1 month, dude, and that doesn't include garbage.
Yeah,
that's not my garbage. It's not included. It's just sewer, wastewater sewer, and the water consumption I use.
Because what happens when you hit the second tier of billing, you're fucked.
Yeah,
you get into that third tier of billing, you're fucking devil's triangle, dude.
Here's another thing I want to bitch about. Here's another thing I want to bitch about, right? And with the water thing is, and this does piss me off too. So it's on subject, right? They said because of the low water usage that they were telling everybody to do, back your water off, right? Well, now our funding is so low that we can't keep up the maintenance that we need to keep up. So we're going to implement a $10 a month drought tax on everybody to keep our income, you know, basically their income levels up. Okay, well, the drought's over.
Yeah, Trump ended it.
It's still on my bill.
Yeah.
It's been on my bill for months now. I've been waiting for it to fall off. So I'm going to the next meeting and say, hey, you know, this was supposed to be a temporary, you know, drought thing. Why is it still there?
Yeah.
You know.
That's what you got to do, man. You got to get involved. Go to city council meetings. I've had a couple people say, oh, Fraser, why don't you run for city council and shit? I said, shit, I need to go to a couple meetings first.
Yeah, kind
to figure out what's going on and if I want to get that involved. Because I'm just happy bitching about shit or getting people fucking... Because Facebook, you know, and it's an older thing. Older people use Facebook now.
Yeah.
It's not a young kids thing.
Yeah, they're catching on to that.
Yeah. And so hopefully I'll get Instagram informed, so I'll start turning out some Instagram stuff. But
yeah. I can't wait till this podcast is on, you know, audio.
Yeah, that's another thing. We're trying Stitcher or
Stitcher.
iHeart.
Yeah, Stitcher. Yeah.
And
that's where I get a lot of my podcasts.
Weller turned me on to Squarespace, and I've been trying to work with the people on Squarespace, but, dude, I had one call. The dude called me back finally, but I was in a meeting, so I couldn't talk to him.
Okay.
And I haven't been able to get a hold of him since, but it's only been like 2 weeks, but they take my money.
You know what I mean? First world problems.
Yeah.
So, how do you think this guy's doing?
From what I could tell, he's doing all right, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he seems honest, like he's getting stuff done.
Yeah?
He's just like any other politician, though. Like, you know, you inherit the problems of the past.
Oh man, that's got to be tough.
The past people, you know. So,
yeah.
Got some set of eyeballs in there, though. Somebody we know, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I hear you.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, what you want to hit one more before we're out, man?
Yeah, let's hit one more. Either Red Tape or Big Brother. What do you think?
Big Brother's got me pissed off, man.
Yeah, let's elaborate on that then. Yeah.
So like, I just started working from home, and you think, oh yeah, you get to work from home, that's cool, and this and that and shit. But they got Big Brother on that. Like, the keyboard will tell them if I didn't touch it for 6 minutes, or if I haven't done this for 13 minutes or something. You know, so they're constantly watching you, dude.
Right.
I mean, it would go back to driving too. Like, you don't even need an officer to give you a ticket now. These the stoplight cameras fucking take a picture of you and shit, right?
Red light, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and anywhere you go, I don't know if you notice this too, like, whenever there's a crime committed, they always got a camera from, like, the gas station or the donut shop or something like that.
Oh, yeah, you're being watched.
So it is all over us, man. And I try to explain to my kids about this phone and stuff too.
That was where I was headed. That is creepy.
And that's another thing on the Obama phones. These people are giving away their freedom and they don't know it.
The government phone.
Yeah, they track them. That's a tracking device. It's exactly what it is. Yeah. And then you allow them to read your text, to check all your contacts, all that kind of shit. And anything you use, I don't care if it's fucking, I don't know, like emoji faces or something. It'll say something like, do you give us permission to look at your photos and microphone and this and that?
Yeah, to post it.
Yeah, you have to click yes. Otherwise, you can't use that app.
Right.
So Big Brother's fucking all over the place, man. It really is 1984. Right. Because my wife... I had told her we've been reading classics and stuff. She had read it, I don't know, about 3 months ago. And then my daughter just read it for her sophomore class. And then we watched the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just, that book was written in like the 1950s. Mm-hmm. But for him to have the foresight
of what was coming.
Was coming with all that shit, man, because you think it's comical or laughable that they got this guy in a TV looking at you when you're walking down the hall, when you're in your bedroom, right?
Right.
Well, it's fucking real.
Yeah, the smart TVs now.
It's really happening, yeah.
A lot of people don't realize the smart TVs now have cameras on them.
Well, the best one I saw was a Russian diplomat got onto some porn site of co-eds, right?
Okay.
And what it was these co-eds are like undressing. They have TVs in their room, but the TVs have cameras in them.
Right.
So at these little different colleges and shit. And his daughter was in one of them.
Oh, wow.
And that's when he fucking made a big stink about shit. But
when it affected his family.
But yeah, then he come at it like, well, this came across to me and this and that, like,
right.
And then that company showed that he had a subscription.
Yeah, he had logged on there 1,000 times. Yeah.
But he started to think about it. But it's true. I mean, they're watching you just don't know it. And I keep telling Weller, whenever you're jacking off on your phone or something, make sure you cover that fucking camera, or you're going to be on a fucking video someday sitting there, right?
Oh, no.
Dude.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I used to think it was like, when a few years back, when they first started saying, man, I was talking about just an oddball thing, right? Oh, I was talking about some centerline rims from the 90s, blah, blah. And then you go through and you get pop-ups. Centerline rims pop up.
Yep.
Coincidence? I used to think, coincidence, whatever. I get a lot of pop-ups, blah, blah, blah. No, it's listening. It's tracking. Well, they had that big thing, right, about data.
Yeah.
Selling your data. That is a huge, your privacy is worth a lot of money to
big
a lot
money,
of people.
man. When you go off grid, that throws a glitch in the matrix. When you go off grid, dude, right. Sincerely, because I've said it before. When I retire, I'm going to go back to the old house phone, because we got along just fine when we just had house phones.
Yeah, you talking about landline?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have to have one because signal out of my place is so shitty.
You see what I'm saying, though, man? I mean, we used to go days and days without talking to each other and shit.
Right.
And then if you had a girlfriend, you would get on the phone and talk for like 2 hours on the phone with your
you
girlfriend.
guys would make a point to be available at a certain time.
Exactly, like a phone date or something.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be home about 5.
You go off grid with this thing right here, man, and that's taking a big step right there.
Let's see, I did it. When was that? About 2009 or 10. The military started to, force you to use your phone for everything, right? To contact, they send out, your emails you could get on your phone, everything like that, right? Because you were out in the field a lot or whatever doing stuff. And I thought, hey, wait a second, they're not paying for this. They didn't issue this to me.
Yeah.
I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? My phone broke, and I said, hey, here's a perfect opportunity, because I wasn't in a contract or nothing. I was like, I got rid of it for like 6 months, dude. People were going nuts, dude. My command was going nuts. Hey, man, I can't. All you got to do is call my house. I have a landline. Call my house.
Yeah.
I'll be home from this time to this time. You know exactly where I work. I'm full-time military. Yeah. You know what my business number is. My email, I check my email at work each day. What else are you trying to get a hold of me for? Or at what time are you trying to get a hold of me where I'm not, conveniently to the cell phone that I pay for?
It's the power. It's the power of being able to get a hold of you.
It felt good.
Yeah.
It felt good in a lot of ways to just not have that leash,
And that's what it is.
But at the same time, there were situations where I'd be driving out in the middle of nowhere, and I'd be like, fuck, what if I break down right now?
Yeah. No,
I got to flag someone down.
It is a double phone. It is a double-ended sword, man.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like you just got to take the pros with the cons. I guess that's with a lot of things, but I don't like this technology is developing faster than the laws can keep up with.
Fuck yeah, man. I keep saying too, maybe not our generation, but definitely my kids' generation is the first generation. These kids have had phones on them, and they're going to have phones on them for 50 or 60 years.
Yeah.
They're going to have this NSA and this fucking shit coming through them for a long time.
We are really close to the first step, what I think is the first step in AI, and that's going to be some kind of implant.
Oh yeah, no doubt. They're already trying it with your iris in your eye,
really,
right? And the fingerprint deal.
Oh well, yeah. That I'm not. But what I'm talking about is an interactive thing that's implanted in you.
Oh yeah, man. There's a word for it.
It's AI.
They've cloned somebody's brain. They cloned his brain. And the computer has his brain, but the computer, within the first 5 or 6 days of being operational, the computer amassed 300 years of knowledge using that guy's brain.
Really? As like the hard drive?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Really?
When they gave him the computer the ability to learn and think for itself.
And to store it.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, dude, check it out. It's cool. It was really cool. Yeah. It was really cool. I wish I knew the dude's name, but there's a word for it. There was a movie. I think Johnny Depp was in it, too.
I'm not sure.
Where he transcendence or something like
he puts his conscience into the mainframe. Of
Yeah,
some sort.
something
What
like-
was that? I know what you're talking about.
I think it was Transcendence or something.
Yeah,
shit like
you're
that.
right. That was the name of it. Yeah. I remember that.
I don't know, but we fucking crushed out 110 minutes or
Right on. Okay.
hour and 10 of being pissed off.
Yeah.
It's a good episode, man.
Hey, and put it in the comments what pisses you off. We read them.
Yeah,
You know what
definitely,
I mean? Throw them in
man.
there.
Definitely.
Even if what we're saying today pisses you off.
Probably does, man.
Snowflake. All right, bro. Thanks for having me, man.
I appreciate it. GG.
All right, man. Don't fall, bro. Man, I was like, I thought we ate. You know already. Yeah, I could smell that. Bloody Mary.